Now, I'm also gonna mark my pockets. So whilst in this position, this customer is having what we call a slant pocket. It actually slants. A majority of trousers are actually have slant pockets. Myself, when I make my own trousers, I actually will make a frog pocket. Some people call it a cross pocket, but they are called frog pockets. And it's like a jeans, you know, well, it's like a jean style kind of pocket, and I prefer that when I make myself trousers. But a majority of customers, they like a slant pocket. Now, depending on how big a person is and how big their waist is, that will determine the width of your slant. Usually it's about 1 3/4 inches to 2 inches. I'm going to set this at 2 inches because he's got a 40 waist. So it's roughly about 2 inches. By the time you take a seam off anyway, it'd be about 1 3/4 inches. And the length is usually about 7 inches. Now, of course, if you've got a big, massive hand, you need to make it longer. So I can't give you the length you would need for yourself. But for men, I'm talking about men's trousers now, women will be a little bit smaller. But for this man, this gentleman, we should say, I'm setting it at 7 inches length, where it's going to finish. So I'm just going to just mark it there. Always do it with chalk and make sure your chalk is sharp. This chalk is not sharp. So I think something I did mention, I think I did show you I've got a tutorial, but I'll quickly just show you again. Let me just get my trousers out. I don't want to. So if you just get a blunt, remember you've got to use a blunt razor blade or a blunt pair of scissors, like paper scissors. Because if you have a sharp blade, it's going to cut into your chalk. So always make sure it's blunt, or a blunt pair of scissors, okay? So now I just get my chalk on the side and I'll just, on the edge, and then go on the other side and do that as well. Just go up and down, just gently, right near the edge. And then I've got a nice smooth edge now. Just get the chalk. Usually I do it in my little bin, but for demonstration purposes, I've just done it here for you. So there we go. Now, so I'm just going to draw my pocket, slanted pocket in. Now at the bottom here, where that 7 inches is, I'll just mark it again. There's my 7 inches there. That's correct. And I'll transfer this onto both sides. Now, because I do a seam, I'm just going to measure a seam, 1 centimetre seam from the edge to the length of that pocket. And that 1 centimetre seam there, that's where my slant will actually go to, from my 2 inches at the top to that 1 centimetre seam at the bottom. And there we have it. We have the mark for my slanted pocket. Now, I do this method. Many tailors will have different methods, but I do. So basically, all we have to do is fold over that pocket. And we've got our slanted in. And we'll make a back facing that goes onto the side, and that actually forms the pocket. Now, I'm going to show you something before I finish this fabric here. This is pure cotton, and this is proper, what they call silicea in the trade. And it's a good quality cotton. It's what we use for all our pockets, for all our trousers. So don't use lining. I did come across one tailor, and I had to teach him, and he was supposed to be a bespoke tailor. He was actually using lining for these pocket bags, and I said, that's not going to last, it's going to rip, what are you doing? And so he kind of, you know, I helped him anyway to get the proper pocketing for him, because he didn't know what this was. So this is called silicea. You can buy this from tailor trimming shops, trimming merchants. I think in England, if you're in England, you can call up Richard James Weldon or Doug Dowles, and you can get this pocketing. And if you're going to make it proper high-end bespoke, I'm not on about factory made or shop bought trousers. If you want to make some good quality trousers, get the best fabrics, like this is a beautiful tweed, pure wool, and get the best pocketing or the waistband in. I put canvas in the waistband for this. So I'm going to show you bits and bobs as we go along. So there we go. So you can actually see my slanted pocket now. Let's move on to the next little section.